All right, first we have Lucas. So yeah, really good. Let's jump past this to here. So yeah, the first thing I noticed, just great job on the textures, starting with the brick, the bells shiny and reflective. What you don't have, or I can't really see, interestingly, is cast shadows. And that would really help the look of this a little bit. Ground texture's good. His pants look really good. Um, I love the shaking there, and I love this panning shot across, or I should say dolly shot. Yeah, and the audio work was really nice as well. I think that, and the animation with your poses, the thing to look at is getting some kind of twist to the shoulders and hips, even if it's subtle, like a little bend of the spine, neck and head movements. Everything seems a little stiff right now in your poses. Um, Like if you look at that, the only thing moving is his arm, and what you'd want is you'd want his body maybe to twist a little bit, and his shoulders to twist, and his spine to kind of maybe curve down slightly. But right now everything's very rigid except for the arm. And same with him. He moves down, which is good, but it's those kind of subtle twists. And they don't have to be big movements, but just to get some of that in there would really help. Um, but overall, it's a very good piece. Yeah, and that movement too, that it's very much like a just something kind of pivoting on a turntable. What you'd want is you want maybe the head to look first, and then the shoulders to follow, then the hips, and then maybe take a step in that direction. So you want to get more of the body involved with it. But great job on the textures. Good kind of funny storytelling. Good work on the camera, and the whole thing is coming together very nicely. Next up, we've got Malcolm. All right, so yeah, it's looking good. The cameras choices are all good. You got your nice intro shot here. The walks are looking okay. They'd be better if there was a little side to side motion in the hip, maybe a little, shoulders and hips twist and wrist movement, those kinds of things. So you got a little bit of hand movement there. You might want to exaggerate that more, maybe shaking a little bit. On this shot, think about what you could do with the head. Maybe you see his eyes and then his head tilts down, or it's just some movement to keep him alive. And then here's, his eyes could squint, maybe the eyebrows go down, he could lean in a little bit, just get some animation on there to keep him alive. I see there's a tiny bit of animation on the hand there. He draws, and when he draws, try acting it out and see how your body kind of twists around to reach for the gun, more than just standing stock still and having the arm move. And same here. So you only have the arm moving, but you want to kind of get a little bit of the rest of the body into that movement. And then yeah, so you might want to have a little bit more of an ending on there. Who shoots, who gets hit, what, how do they react, what happens. So come up with some kind of ending, some kind of reaction. Next we have Lojane. All right. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. The nice little glow on the fire there. I think it would be better if you could get cast shadows. It would help kind of connect the characters with the ground and the lighting. Um, Same comments about the walk. When you've got that end of this where they pop around like that, so either have them kind of turn and properly, kind of step around in a circle where they turn around, or just cut that out. But don't have that in there like that. That camera moves all right. That zoom in seems unnecessary. I would just do a straight cut, and then this camera movement seems a little unnecessary too. It kind of it doesn't necessarily help tell the story. I like the hand movement there. I like the squints you've got going on. Those are good. And again, like I mentioned with the other ones, get the rest of the body into the action of the drawing the gun. Kind of maybe leaning back and twisting the spine and you know to reach for the gun. So it's not just so you've got the rest of the body involved. Yeah, the blowing on there good. And again, you can shift the weight back, lean back a little bit, tilt the head in a little bit. So again, it doesn't, you've kind of got the minimum moving, but you want to, it's so much about the root and the torso movement, even more so than the arms and the face and that kind of stuff. Those are really secondary to the core movement of the body that you want to get moving in there. But it's good. You told a story. We understand what happens, and then you have a nice ending shot. So it came together in that sense. Next, we've got Vici. So the first thing I would say is the camera needs some attention. There's just way too much camera movement. Um, we're okay here as we're coming in, although I would say it's a bit fast. Then it slows down, but then suddenly it spins around the other side, and then moves, kind of swings by his face and moves around and spins again. It's just too much camera movement. Do that opening shot and then just do not moving cameras, just static cameras and straight cuts. Just make it easier on yourself because the camera's just flying all over the place and it's very distracting. It's hard to think about anything but the camera movement. Um, Although I must say, like, besides the camera movement for all of those shots, I mean, yeah, you see the clock move there, but now you see gun draw, but there wasn't really any character animation. So what we'd rather do is have the camera still so we can really see what the character's doing and have the characters move rather than the camera flying around. Um, yeah, and so you have them both drawing the gun. But and again, like I said, let's get the body into drawing the gun. Let's shift the weight, twist the spine. You do things like lean in, lean out, those kinds of things. So again, simplify the camera, focus on the character's movement and animation, and you can improve this piece a lot. And then give it some kind of ending. Give us a sense of, did one win? Did the other win? The gunfight. Just some kind of end would help. Next we have Lee. So what's good about this one is we do have more of the body involved. You see this, even though it's the right hand reaching for the gun, we see movement on the left arm and the hand movement. We see the root is moving back a little bit. He's taking a step. There's facial expressions going on. So it's a good example of what I'm talking about, is getting more of the body involved. And I'd love to see a little bit more twist on the spine, like getting those shoulders to twist, or some bend on the spine too would help. But this is a little bit more along the lines of the idea what I'm talking about. But for Lee, we want to get you to get this into the rest of your scene. It should be part of the overall scene and not just this isolated character animated by himself. So get him into the town and get the rest of the shots going. So we need to see a little bit more in that area. Next we have Nancy. First thing I noticed, see these stripes here? That's called interlacing. That's in your export options. If you're exporting, for example, from After Effects, when you make the movie under the video settings, you have a choice of progressive or interlace, and you want progressive. You do not want interlace. There's no need for that, and it looks not so great. Um, it's good to hide stuff like, really anything besides your surfaces, curves, whatever those are, when you're playlasting. So yeah, I think the cameras are generally good. I notice you have dissolves in there, and I think that's a nice touch. Yeah, the walk is looking all right. I see you got little kind of tilting stuff going on. He turns pretty well. And yeah, there's camera movement, but it's kept sort of pretty subtle and thoughtful. So that works well. I don't know if this fade out was intentional. If it was, I recommend removing that and just, keeping it fully light. And then here, this is a bit of an awkward camera shot because he draws his gun, but the gun sort of leaves the frame for a minute there. So I'd recommend maybe just either either if you want to be that close, cut as soon as he pulls the gun and, cut straight to something wide like this, or start on a wider shot. Um, so yeah, it's good. You've got a lot going on. I think that you could get a little bit more animation going in some of these shots. So yeah, something like this, just something to kind of keep them live. Maybe you just kind of shifts weight from one side to the other in this shot. And then here, yeah, that you've got a blink on him, which is good, but there isn't much happening here. So maybe that's an opportunity to do more with facial expression, and again, like kind of shift weight or move the body a little bit. Um, and yeah, like I've been saying with the others, when you reach for the gun, get a little bit of spine or shoulder twist or leaning the body, those kinds of things, just to keep them alive. And yeah, some kind of a little bit more of an ending. What happens? Who won? Who lost? So some sense of an ending would help us out a lot. Next, we've got Robert Morgan. All right, so yeah, I think your camera choices are all really strong. You've got sort of this sweeping opening shot, um, and pretty good instincts about where you cut. I like this shot through the legs. I think that's interesting and very cinematic. Again, it's all good. Like the close-ups, I think that the main thing to focus on, you've got strong camera stuff here, is the animation. So I see you can barely see him draw his gun in this shot right here. Just partly what's distracting, if you see the joints and all this kind of stuff. What I would do when you play blast is hide everything but the surfaces, so we don't have it. But yeah, so he draws his gun in the distance. Kind of a, I would typically want to see that closer up, but it's a choice. You could do it that way too. And then, yeah, I just think there's really just, besides this walk at the beginning, there's just very little character animation. So, it doesn't have to be big movement, but subtle stuff, shifting the weight. He could scratch his arm, he could twiddle his fingers, he could, shake his head, blink, frown, smile, snarl, something, to keep these guys alive because they're really not moving at all. They're mannequins, except for just the gun draw. And when you do draw the gun, try to get a little bit more of the body into it, kind of shifting him from side to side to shift the weight and maybe twisting him a little bit, spine, for that movement. Next, we have Shang Tsing. So his stuff is in Maya. So yeah, the walk is good. The spin looks really nice. I think that's all we've got so far. But yeah, that's working well. You mentioned you were having trouble importing the character into the town, and I'm not sure exactly what the problem is. If you can tell me more, that would be good. But the other thing you can try is the opposite. If you can't import the character into the town, you can try importing the town into the character file. You would just go into this file and do file import and bring in the whole town. Okay, next we've got Ryan. Okay, I like the camera. It's a little different from the other ones, which I think is good. It's interesting. Um, you've got the walk, and I see you've got a little bit of twist on the walk, which is good to see. I think you can do more, like loosen up the wrists and stuff. We do have that kind of pop when they turn around here, at the end, just right at the end there. So either, like I said with the other one, either properly have them turn around or just cut that part out, which would be fine too. Again, good shot, but not again like many of these, not enough motion. I like that his head's tilted, but maybe you can animate the tilt so that we see it go from straight to tilt or from tilted to straight. Adding blinks, eyebrow movement, shifting the weight, these kinds of things. I like that shot from below. I think it's interesting. I think it's good you cut to here, but I would also say, the other guy already drew his gun, already shot. Um, he shouldn't be waiting so long before he shoots, I would say. So it might be better to have him maybe cut out the beginning of part of that and have him shoot right away. And then finally, I would add some kind of ending. Kind of have a sense of who won. Okay, so it starts out good. I like the camera shot. It's good that you have cast shadows going on. I think that shot works well too. I like the over the shoulder of this guy, and I like that turn. Although that was maybe a little bit too quick there. This shot from this angle, I might hold that a little longer. I like that you've got the hand moving here. It might be good to have at least a little bit of arm movement so it doesn't look so frozen. I like that kind of thing. It's good. The head tilt up is good. The snarl's good. Maybe get the clock to move, the clock hand to move. That draw is good, but then he's just kind of frozen here. And then you have this whole series of shots at the end, but I'm not sure exactly what's happened. Did he shoot? Did he not shoot? Did the other guy get hit? It's a little bit not clear. So try to get some clarity on the ending a little bit and finish it off. But I think it's going well.